that leads me to talk about what Toi Ohomai is doing and what the education is going to look like for the rest of this year in 2020 and moving into 2021. So we've just come up with so if you just think about it from the perspective of different cohorts of international students, we have some students, of course, that have already paid and are waiting to come. And you may be in that situation. And then we have students that have applied for a visa and haven't heard yet. I'll talk about that in a little bit more soon. And then the third situation, of course, is you've got an offer and you're considering what you're going to do. Okay. So Toi Ohomai have thought about this a lot in terms of how can we best help the students, international students like you, assuming that the borders won't be open until probably either late this year or early next year. And that could even mean a quarantine process when you come into the country. So from our perspective, you can't come in July, we know that now. So we need to look after you. So if you're enrolled with us already or you're thinking about it, then we're going to be sending out information on programs that you can actually do online. For example, just one course online at a reduced fee. And you'll have a month to think about whether you want to stay in that course or not and pay or defer to the next offer. And that will be for all offshore students. And what's that really about? Well, firstly, you may know that the post-study work rights in New Zealand require you to be in the country for 30 weeks for a level 7 and above program. And so you still need to come to the country for a year. So there's no point, if you're looking to get post-study work rights, to only come to New Zealand for 15 weeks. So probably the best way to think about it is I can do a course or maybe two online while I'm in my home country, prepare for next year, and then come next year and do the full 30 weeks to get my post-study work visa. So we'll be sending that out to all of the agents and the students very shortly to give you some options about what you can do, because there's no doubt that the borders won't be open at least until November. And if they are in November, it's likely to be a quarantine process required before you can actually enter the country, or maybe even that, for example, Toi Ohomai can provide to students until they can start studying. So that's sort of where we're at now. We're thinking, okay, COVID-19 has hit us, but we're coming out of it, and how can we ensure that the students are prepared and engaged for next year? So maybe Paramdip, you can add some things to that. If I might have missed anything. You don't need a visa, of course, if you're offshore away from New Zealand. So you can study this perhaps online course without a visa and apply. And if you get turned down, you'd get a refund on the fee you paid for your course. So yeah.
So what basically is happened, the policy says that you have to study 30 weeks of formal full-time qualification. So what we are thinking in graduate diploma and in postgraduate, so it has normally 8 papers. Out of that 8 papers, we can offer 2 papers online, and that also will be offered at little bit of a discounted rate because you are not utilizing our facilities and other things, but quality wise they will be as good as face to face. So you will still have online resources, our library material, same lecturers will be teaching you, there will be a lot of tutorials, Zoom sessions and other things. But we still thought, because you're not using our facilities and other thing, we can offer a little bit discount for those online papers. And when you have done those 2 papers, then you have to you can start that by paying the fees for only those 2 papers if you haven't got the visa. And then you apply for a visa, and then you have to pay only fees for the 6 papers which are left. And then you will be ready to, and that will be 30 weeks. Then the show money also becomes a bit less. So that means you have to show only funds for 10 months. So then when you come over here, you still get the full graduate diploma, and you have studied for 30 weeks. You still get that 2-year post-study work visa. And in postgraduate area, you get 3 years of post-study work permit. So the advantages will be like you will be able to utilize your time wisely. You still will be able to finish 2 papers. You will save some cost also. And with these 2 papers, you will get certificate of completion from our institute, and we will also give you a supporting letter for the visa. So you actually become little bit higher bona fide student than the normal student who hasn't done any program. And if when immigration sees that you have completed 2 papers, you got a support letter from institution also, and even if they ask you 1 or 2 technical questions, you will be very well informed because you had done those 2 papers of that program. So visa chances actually increases a lot in this area. But we are still giving you that confidence that if 1%, if the visa get rejected, then we will be able to give you the full fee refund for those 2 papers. So that's actually very good option, which Toi Ohomai and Peter has been working very hard to get it formalized. So I think by Friday or something, we should be able to come back to you in writing something that how it works. But looks like a pretty good option to utilize the time wisely.
So I think about it from a positive perspective, like Paramdip said. If you can do 1 or 2 courses online, and as I was saying before, Paramdip, we've got it basically 1 month. The students have got 1 month to decide whether they want to continue online or not with the course or courses, and you don't have to pay the fee until that time. And if you decide it's not for you, then you can just withdraw out of that and defer till the February intake or November, whichever comes next. Because we understand that online studies is not for everybody. But certainly when you think about online, it just doesn't mean you get given a whole lot of resources and you're left to yourself. Like Paramdip said, there's all sorts of support around you. Including what types of things we're doing now with your lecturer, your teacher, and of quizzes. We also have a technology called Adobe Connect, where you have live tutorial sessions. So don't think of it just as a whole lot of documents that you have to read. But it'll be your choice, and you can, if you choose to do that, we'll certainly look after you during that online process till the end of the year, and then you can come through whenever possible when the borders open.